Welcome to the last video of our asynchronous class about estates and land. Now that we've walked through defeasible fees, fee simple subject to condition and fee simple defeasible, let's put that together with adverse possession. So we're going to work through two problems and we're going to see how they come out differently and how they come out similarly in order to understand the ramifications of a defeasible fee for adverse possession. So first problem. O conveys Greenacre to B and her heirs so long as it is used as a hospital. So first of all, what kind of a conveyance is that? We see the language so long as, and that is the signal for a fee simple defeasible. Fee simple defeasible is an estate that has an automatic forfeiture if the condition occurs. So what we know just from this first sentence is that O conveyed Greenacre to B as a fee simple defeasible, and that means that what O retained is a possibility of reverter. And we know that because conveying Greenacre to B so long as it's used as a hospital doesn't cover all of the possibilities for owning Greenacre. And the law is obsessed with making sure that it knows under all circumstances who owns Greenacre. So this conveyance creates two possibilities. One is that the land will continue to be used as a hospital and therefore will remain in B's hand. And the other is that the land will not be used as a hospital, in which case the fee simple determinable ends and the possibility of reverter becomes the possessory estate. So, that's what we know from the first sentence. 2 years later, a new regional hospital is built and the old local hospital closes. That would be the one at Greenacre. For the next 10 years, B uses Greenacre as an orphanage. What are B's rights? So this is asking, what are the rights of a holder of a fee simple determinable after the fee simple ends? The fee simple determinable determines or ends, and the possibility of reverter becomes by law the legally possessory estate. So in order to answer this question, you're going to have to know some things, right? Was B's use open and notorious? We're going to assume 10 years is the statutory period. If B's use was open and notorious, then B might have acquired the property through adverse possession. Remember, the elements for adverse possession are it has to be actual possession, right? And we have that here. It has to be exclusive. I think we can probably assume that using it as an orphanage is an exclusive use and nobody else is using it for something else. It has to be for the statutory period, which is 10 years. It has to be hostile, which is presumed if it's a use incompatible with the record owner retaining ownership of the property, and using it as an orphanage probably would satisfy that. So really this is going to hinge on whether or not the use as an orphanage is open and notorious. Probably it is, because there are probably people going in and out, probably lots of kids going in and out. It's probably going to be reported in government documents. It might even be reported in ads. So there's some assumptions that I'm making, as you can see, but the likely outcome here is that B has acquired Greenacre through adverse possession, because once the condition occurs, the property automatically reverts to the owner in terms of who is the legal owner of the property and who has the right of possession. So if the owner or the owner's heirs or devisees do not come during that 10-year period and evict B, B will wind up owning the property. Okay, so let's do another problem. Now in this case, B conveys Blackacre as long as the premises are not used for the sale of alcohol. And if alcohol is sold, O retains a right to re-enter. So this grant is a fee simple subject to condition because it includes a right of re-entry. There's no automatic termination of A's rights. What O retains, that sliver of the estate that O retained when O made this conveyance, was the right to take back the property rather than the right to have the property automatically revert. A opens a restaurant that serves dishes cooked with wine or flamed with brandy. And with dinner, A often offers guests a complimentary glass of champagne. 11 years later, B wants to buy the restaurant and add a bar. So what issues do you need to resolve in order to advise B as to whether or not B could buy the restaurant and add a bar? The first question is, what's the state of the title to Blackacre? Right? A was granted a fee simple subject to condition. So we have two questions. The first question is, did that condition occur? The condition is the premises are not used for the sale of alcohol. So there's a judgment call. Is opening a restaurant that serves dishes cooked with wine or flamed with brandy sale of alcohol? Maybe, that's a judgment call. What about the complimentary glasses of wine? Complimentary glass of wine is not a sale of alcohol, but is there anything really such as a free glass of wine? Isn't that price really just baked into the price of the food that you buy? Right? This is going to be a judgment call. And the reason that it matters is if A has not yet triggered the condition, if A's behavior has not amounted to sale of alcohol, then O's right of reentry has never been triggered. And assuming whatever the requirements are for maintaining that right of reentry, like in New York you have to continually file, that right of reentry is still valid, and should B purchase the property and build a bar, O could exercise that right of reentry. If, on the other hand, A's activities are tantamount to sale of alcohol, there's an argument that A's activities have in fact triggered that condition. And under those circumstances, O has now spent 10 years not exercising the right to reenter. So what happens to the right to reenter? It's not an automatic forfeiture, right? It's not like the possibility of reverter where O becomes the possessor of the present possessory estate. It's a right to become the possessor of the present possessory estate. Probably just like any other adverse possession claim, if the owner sits on the right for 10 years, the court is probably going to say, you waited too long, and if you don't protect your rights, after a while you have to expect that we won't either. Probably, if we decide that A's activities in fact triggered the condition for sale of alcohol, then probably the adverse possession period has ended and B could in fact purchase this property free and clear and add a bar. So I hope you understand that. If not, please post questions to the Twin site and I'd be glad to answer them. If you don't understand this though, I encourage you, review adverse possession and then review the defeasible estates and try to think it through on your own, and then definitely come talk to me if you have further questions. Anyway, just a friendly reminder that I asked you to answer 2 questions and to do some problems in the other videos. So make sure you do that and turn it in on the Twin site. There's a Dropbox. Have a lovely weekend. I will see you next Thursday, and that's it. Bye.